everybody. Welcome tonight to Sunday Night Live, and it is Christine Hart and Brian Barrett introducing to you a new figure of magic each week. And today we have Khali Ma coming in from India, and she is a shamanic practitioner out in India in Goa. Welcome to the show there, Khali.
Thank you so much, Chris. It's great to be here.
And you, I love your accent. Is your accent American?
Actually, I'm in Canada right now. I go to India every year. I've spent the last 6 years in India. That's why you believe I'm in India. But I just landed back in Canada, so I'm an Indo-Canadian, is what they call us. I was born in India, raised in Canada, but I love my India. So that is really where I keep diving back into.
Oh, yes, of course. It's amazing, isn't it? I'm going
Yeah.
to let Brian kick off because he knows you very well. So over to you, Brian. If you can kick off the show, that would be awesome.
Okay, brilliant. Well, ladies and gentlemen, tonight I'm going to introduce you, Callie. But before I introduce Callie to you, I want to explain how I understand what is shamanism. I've been an occultist all my life, literally since I was 11 years of age. And believe me, I'm way past 50 now. Okay. So, really, in my early 60s, I know many shaman. I've actually read quite a lot of shamanism. But first, before Callie starts talking, let's look at the history of the shamanic system. Shamanism, as we understood it in the West, started off in really Siberia. Okay, Rasputin was probably one of the biggest famous shamans that we know. However, if we go right back into the history of shamanism, we probably end up in the Eleusinian Mysteries. Now, the Eleusinian Mysteries was that was practiced by Plato and Socrates, and they used to take something called Kakion, and Kakion is believed to be very similar to ayahuasca or that kind of drug. Now, essentially, the thing is with shamanism is that one has to let go of what it is to be human, and so that the only thing that you are left with is the core that makes you conscious, your conscious being, so to speak. In India, they for thousands of years took something called soma, which once again was like ayahuasca. You can still get it in India, but it's only through the adepts. But the thing is this isn't. We're not talking about taking drugs per se for the sake of it. What we're talking about is we're talking about distilling the human consciousness down to what is known in India as the God mind, the pure essence, the Brahma. Okay, and the same thing was done throughout all shamanism, is to get down to the Brahma. Now, when you're in that state, there is nothing human left of you. You are that, to quote Nisargadatta Maharaj, you are just that. However, in that state, you can then remove blocks if you are trained properly. You can change your life, you can change time. Now, in the world that I know, I only know two shaman who are capable of this. One of them is in Siberia, and the other one is Cali. So, what we're going to talk about tonight is the process and what she does to help people to remove blocks. And the blocks can be really severe. They can be hauntings, they can be drug addiction, they can be sex addiction. It can be an addiction for money, or it can be somebody who is completely spiritually lost. And after they've been with Khali, she takes them through the shamanic experience. And then when they come back, usually, well, 100%, it's not just usually, they have removed the blocks and they want to live again. So what we're going to talk about tonight with Khali is we're going to talk about the procedure and why she's so successful at what she does. So Khali, imagine I'm a client who's come to you, okay?
Okay, Brian. Okay, no problem.
So maybe
Um,
I'm hooked on alcohol. Yeah, okay.
okay. All right. Alcohol is yeah, it's a lot easier than the hardcore chemical drugs that most of the addicts come to me with. But what we would do is first ask, what I do is I ask them to give me anywhere from 3 to 10 days, depending on how badly they want to change their life and how disciplined they are. So most addicts have no discipline, right? So it's really hard to get them even to do 3 days of pre-work, which is abstinence from alcohol, from meat, from anything that's toxic, like chemical drugs. So if they can just give me even 3 days, some can't even give me a day. That's how bad they are when they come to me. But majority have this. By the time they find me, they've gotten to this point of desperation. They know that if they don't change their lifestyle, they're going to die. That the traumas are overwhelming, that they just cannot do it on their own, and they come for help. And most of them, I'd say about 70% have found ayahuasca before me. And they've done that. And that really helps the cause for me, anyways. So for 3 to 10 days, abstinence from alcohol, drugs. And the most important part of the preparation, I ask them to do a written intention. What that does is it solidifies their intentions. I ask them to write it again and again, repeat it over the 3 to 10 days, have it put up on their, mirror and just look at it as much as they can so that their spirit guides also can see what it is that their intention is, what it is they want. So normally it would be, you would write, your full name, want, in big letters. Then you would make a list of everything you want. In the beginning, I used to only give them one, but as I've become stronger and more powerful with this work, it doesn't matter how big the list is anymore. So then they make a list on one side of what they want, and then they flip it over and they write full name, want to let go of. Then they write that list of everything they want to let go of. So what that helps me do, and the spirit guides and the medicine spirit do, is see what it is that they are needing and wanting. And I bring this, when they come, they bring the list with them and we put it on
Hello.
Magic, and probably some things I've gotten from Brian along the way. Just real magic is on this altar. Then on a beautiful harmonizer, I put their intention under that with the medicine on top. The container of my medicine sits on the medicine, on their intention, sorry. Once that has happened, I will sit with them and I will have them sit down or lie down and do breath work. It's about a 1 hour intense pranayam, like really get them to clear their body with prana. And it really helps to open up the lungs, because this medicine is steam and it has to be inhaled into the lungs. So this really helps the process. After the 1 hour of breath work, I usually put on a Quantum K. It's a beautiful 20-minute. It heals everything from body, mind, spirit, and emotional. Like it just really clears all of these blockages with Fibonacci sequence, with numerical codes in it. And I ask them to do this on a regular basis before they come to me, morning and night. It's preferred 40 days, but they usually do it with the medicine and then they do this for a whole 40 days and it works like magic. So then after they've done that, I help them activate their chakras. We activate just the basic 7 for this, because it's again another 50 minutes for that. Once the chakras are fully activated and opened, then we do a meditation and I do a prayer to the universe, to the medicine. After the prayers, I give them so much love because this takes balls of steel to get to this point because the ego is battling you every step of the way. The ego is saying, no, 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 no. You cannot, decapitate me. You cannot rid me. I'm the boss. So they'll call me on the day of the session, Ma, I've got this bad bellyache. I can't come. I've got a headache. Guys, just come. Just come. We'll fix all of that with this magical antigen. So most of them come because they are at that point of their life where I was when I found this medicine, which was do or die. I was a hardcore addict because I was a rock star. I had my own TV show, my own radio station. We were constantly partying with the rock stars. And that in the 90s, my friends, was really hardcore. I don't think it's the same anymore, but in those days, it was full power.
Okay.
And with that came,
yeah. Sorry, I was going to say, so right, okay. So
right,
kind
so
of like,
that's why, go ahead.
I get it. But what prayer do you use to sort of like is what Hindu prayer do you use?
It's only a minute long.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
Cool. So we hold hands and I say, throughout my many lives and until this moment, whatever virtues we've accomplished, including the merit generated by this practice and all that we ever shall attain, this we offer for the welfare of all sentient beings. May sickness, war, famine, and suffering be decreased, while their wisdom and compassion increases in this and every future life. May we quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the benefit of all sentient beings. May we quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the benefit of all sentient beings. May we quickly attain enlightenment in order to work ceaselessly for the benefit of all sentient beings. Boom. And then
we inhale.
Then I try to calm them down because I have to, like bring their heartbeats so insanely off the charts. I can hear it because the ego is our master. It's no longer the tool it's supposed to be, right? So the ego is just going, no, 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 no. And it's really hard to get someone to the point where they have to inhale the steam, right? Because the medicine is measured according to the height and width and age of the person. Unlike the way the Americans do everything is cookie cut, right? It's like, oh, it's this much milligrams. No, it's not. I can't give the same to an 8-year-old child that I give to a 250-pound man. Like, impossible. So the medicine tells me, the spirit of the medicine literally directs me as to how much medicine is needed. I do not weigh it or any of that. It's like old school witchery, right? We literally we just throw the stuff in. We don't measure. And once that is done, once they've standing in front of me and I've, eye contact, telling them how much I love them, telling them they trust, because I do not take a person in without spending at least a minimum of a day with me. So I can scan them. I know where their blockages are. I know what's happening. So it's not just like a lot of the new age shamans, it's just random. They don't even know the names of the people coming for facilitation. They don't even ask them their intentions. It's just 40, 50 people a day. They're just boom, boom, boom. With me, it's never more than 3 to 5. 5 is my max because then I'm done. But 3 to 5, I can facilitate in a day. And once they have,
Yeah, so sorry, I was going to say the thing is once they've inhaled, the thing is a lot of people kind of get confused because they're watching YouTube and people are talking about machine elves and they're talking about the lower dimensions. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So, I get it.
So, I mean, the point is what should the ideal journey be?
It's really independent, Brian. Nobody's the same. I've done over 4,000 humans. I've facilitated more than 4,000, and some of them have done close to 3, because I always say, guys, minimum 3, right? Okay. It takes 1, 2, 3 to kind of, open them up. And 12 is if you want to instantly become a medicine person. If you want to be a shaman, I'll give you 12, but it's back to back. And most people cannot do it. They'll They'll come with the full intention of wanting to be the best version of themselves, to be a shaman, to carry the medicine. But after they learn that they have to do 3 back-to-back for 4 days or 4 back-to-back for 3 days, only 3 people in 12 years have managed to do that, right?
I'm surprised you got 3, because when I took it, like when I took what you gave me, I know for certain that I had to make a decision. I had to accept death, or stay locked in the realm that I was in. So what I did was I accepted death. So I accepted the ego death. I mean, literally, and I've got to be honest with you, when I did it, it was totally painful. Yeah, I mean, I could literally feel everything leaving my body and my consciousness, and then like, because I remember when I actually went into the higher state, you came through to me and you said, "Wow, just like a professional." Yeah, that's what you said to me. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, that was the day you introduced me to the Black Mirror. That's the first day I ever heard of the magical Black Mirror in my life. Was when you went through it.
Cool. Yeah. And like, but yeah, I mean, you said some Hindu prayers, because obviously I think you understood that I was technically dead as far as the world concerned.
Yeah.
Yeah. What prayers were they?
I think it was the Om Triambakam Yajamahe Sugandham Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Rityor Mikshiyamamritat. I believe it was that one.
Yeah, it was that one. I remember it. Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, like, if I'd wanted to, I could have stayed in the lower realms. Yeah, no problem.
I don't believe you went to the lower realms, Brian. What happens is, this is what I've come to realize, because now I only work with the spirit of the medicine. I had to unlearn everything these patriarchal shamans taught me, sadly, because it didn't work for me. And now I only connect straight with the medicine. And what happens is, you're coming out of the lower realms into the 700 hertz frequency. See, everything is frequency, right? We know this. You're going to above 700. Most of the happy humans like us that are really living life in the happy realms are always like, ha ha, he, like in a real joyful reality, which is so few, sadly, on the planet, are vibrating above 528 hertz. To feel the love of existence, you have to be in 528 hertz frequency. Hence, I send all of these frequencies to the people that come to me so that they can feel all of this before they come. Then what medicine does is, what Bufo Alvarius does is, it takes you above the 700 hertz frequency. Now, after the first one, the first session is like, you remember, it's like, you're like a spaceship going, it's like your spirit's like a spaceship just flying out. So you're like, you've never gone to this realm before. You've never gone this high in frequency unless you're a master shaman, unless you're a master at meditation and you know all of that stuff. And so when the first one takes you just to about 528s, the second one will take you to 700 hertz up above. Then the third one takes you to 900 hertz, and that's God. That's God's self. That's the God frequency, right? So you're going from heart frequency 528 to 700 plus, which is enlightenment frequency, right? That's the frequency of enlightenment. That's where this medicine takes you. And once you've passed the enlightenment frequency on your third session, you literally go what you've taught me, Brian, through the white light into the darkness to the Godhead. I've literally gone there and bowed down there and realized, wow, that it's not going to stop, because frequencies and everything is infinite. Consciousness is infinite, right? So you don't just, that's why I ask people to do sessions, at least 3, because you on your first session are going to go above wherever you are consciously. right? Where you are, not consciously, sorry, where you are in your enlightenment, in the collective consciousness. Yes. So wherever you are, you're going to go to the next level. The second one's going to pop you through to the other level. Then again, each session. So I've done over 111. My last one was on my birthday. It was 111th session on self. And trust me, Brian, it's still as scary to come up to the medicine and face it. But now I figured it out. When I meditate like in length before I come to the medicine, I had no fear. I was actually sitting there, just excited like a child to break through to the next level of my consciousness. But
Yeah,
this.
yeah, because I think that's something that we should really talk about, because the a lot of people out there, like I get asked this question a lot. What happens when you die? Now, when I went through the medicine with you, I mean, I must stress to the listener, me and Khali did this together alone, because I knew that I was going to take it as far as I could take it, and I didn't need any distractions or whatever. And I can assure the listener that it was extremely frightening and extremely painful, because letting go of all the consciousness and letting go of everything that you is. But the point,
Past trauma is included. Past
yeah,
trauma and belief systems that are stuck on us like bandages, right?
absolutely. But the thing is the one thing I didn't see baby Jesus. I didn't see my parents. I didn't see past souls. I saw nothing to do with what we are told we're supposed to see. However, what I did enter was a supreme field of love. Yeah, I mean, love that you cannot describe. I won't even try and pretend that I know how to describe it. And that love was completely overwhelming. Seriously, it was like I've never felt such love. It was incredible. It really was incredible. But the thing is what I want to reiterate is that the dying process, in my concern, was not like what we were told. Nothing like what we were told. What is your experience of when people go through the dying process, Khali?
Well, Brian, if history teaches us anything, if we know anything, whatever they quote unquote tell us is all bullshit. None of that is real, right? And now they're trying to make Bufo to be a medicine that introduces you to aliens. I've had people come to me. My intention is I want to meet the gray man. I'm like, all right. But then they go, oh, but I didn't meet him, Bill, because that's not what you needed healing in. What the medicine, what it gives you is your intention. So it has to be so clear what your intention is. When I did you, I was still a Kohai. It was so many years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, with experience, with having worked with so many people and having, I would say, mastered my craft, it's a whole different experience now, right? Whereas then it was like, wow, you were my first one I ever did without an assistant, right? I had trepidation on that because I was like, no, but I need somebody. But you were so easy. You were like a pro. That's why I said that. Like, Brian, you did it like a pro. But the death factor is there. So it's not physical death. You're still breathing. It's your ego death. Right? It's literally decapitating the ego. So you have the ego's gone. That's why it's battling us so hard as we're walking up to this session. It's like, no, 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 no. You don't need it. No, no, no. Even tries to tell me that, look, you've done 100. Why do you need more? You're getting healed every time you're healing others. This is my ego. This medicine, it doesn't show you the aliens. It doesn't connect. Like when my mother did her session, she wanted to meet all her relatives, all the ones on the other side. Because I told her that one of my experiences, when my favorite auntie died in India, I was in Mexico. I couldn't get to India in time for her funeral. I did a session with Grandpa Pancho, and she came to me in spirit and said, oh my God, you're the only one that can see me and hear me. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm not in my body, right? And for 20 minutes, I was hugging her. Physically, I was hugging her. You could see it in the video. And I'm just crying because I can't believe it, you know? So my mom heard this story and said, I want to meet my relatives. I want to meet your dad. I want to meet my parents, my sisters. I said, okay. We did it in a room because it was in Goa in the heat. And she's a princess. So we had to make it comfortable for her. And usually, Brian, you know this, that a person loses full control and they pass out, right? So normally I have you either lying down or, sitting long enough so that you can lie down, or I have assistants who hold you and bring you down. So I had 3, 4 assistants. We're at the edge of the bed and poof, her intention became like this. And the whole room was filled. Her dad was in the corner because he was a little freaked out. But everyone else was there. My mother was like a rod. We couldn't even put her down. We were trying to push her down on the bed. They were holding her so tight with so much love that she couldn't even be put to bed. So you do get that. But again, she didn't see them. She just felt them. I saw them. I felt them and I saw them, but she did not. So when they come back, it's almost like this. It's like when you go on a journey on a spaceship, it goes, whoosh, you're flying through the cosmos. When the spirit comes back and lands into the body, can you imagine all that rubble when the spaceship lands, right? There's all this rubble, like dirt. It takes a couple of days for your spirit to settle back into the body. That's why I'll ask everyone, keep a pen handy with a book to, notepad to write all that's coming down, because the downloads will come, but it takes a couple of days. And most addicts will just jump back into their addiction after a couple of days and forget it, right? But I got people that now, my last girl that I did in India, I didn't even want to work anymore. I had 5 days before I was coming to Canada, but her husband had died of cancer and she was just devastated. She's 35 years old. And they said, Ma, you're our last resort. We're sending her to you. And I'm like, fine. I took her in, gave her 3 sessions. And she couldn't meet him. She couldn't see him. Even though he was standing right there, I could see his spirit standing right there. She couldn't connect with him, even though that was her intention. So what I find is that it's not really what it is that you think you want or let go of. That is all fine and dandy, right? But it's what you really need to become the best version of yourself, so that it gives me time to align you with your perfect blueprint, taking away the blockages, because I've got like 15, 16 teachers trainings under my belt. So I use all of these energy modalities and the magic you've taught me, Brian, to pull out this stuff. And within 20 minutes, they're like, wow, like they can't believe it. 75 to 80% say to me, Ma, everything on that list has done. It's manifested. It's already done within a week. It's like that. See, because everything is frequency. And there's no past and future. We know all of this. Everything exists on a timeline right now. So what happens with this medicine, it drops you into the timeline of your intentions. So you are that person that isn't an addict. There's a timeline where you're not an addict. There's a timeline where you're cancer-free. There's a timeline where your heart gets healed from just insanely broken heart. So all of these timelines are continuously happening. So what the medicine does, and I do with the medicine, is drop you into that frequency of that timeline. So you come back, like girls, the young girls, your intention is usually the perfect partner, right? I want a guy. I'm like, okay, fine. Write a list with everything you want in him. And I kid you not, Brian, within a week to 3 weeks, they've found their perfect partner. They've fallen in love. They're getting.
I can guarantee that. I've seen it. I saw it happen. I saw it. This girl took your medicine that I know, and believe me, she had no intention of marriage. She had no whatever, but she wanted to meet the right guy, and she couldn't believe it. She met him within, I think, maybe 12 hours of taking the medicine. Seriously,
because everything's frequency, right? We're
absolutely
made of sound and light frequency. So if we're made of this and we accept it, because most people don't even know what they're made of. You ask them, what are the 5 elements? Like, honestly, people are not taught the basic, what we really need to learn in life. But we know that, we know this now. With this medicine, after my 30th, I think it was the 30 or 33rd session, I was in the Akashic records. I could literally just sit in meditation, ask any question, and the Akasha would just drop the answers to me. It was so cool. Having conversations with a quantum physicist. I've never picked up a book on quantum physics, man. So it's like that kind of stuff that made me want to do this. And the reason I do this is because I love what I do. I really love watching people transform in front of my eyes. Like the next day, they're physically so beautiful again. Like their physical appearance is totally changed because the stress is gone, right? So the medicine goes into the cellular structure, shakes out all the stress that has been just buried in there, all that stuff we never looked at, just kept burying, didn't want to deal with. It just, and you can see it in their body. It's shaking out, right? And it shakes out, comes out, and they look 10 to 12, 15 years younger. They say, Ma, we've never had this much energy in my life like that I have now. I'm sleeping only 5 hours and I'm so full of life. So I don't know, man. I personally believe, Brian, this is like alien technology, man. Because I don't think yeah.
Can I, Chris, if you were brave enough to do something like this, where would you want to go? Chris.
Sorry. What do you mean? Where would I want to go? Oh,
What would be your intention?
if I took the drug?
Yeah.
Medicine.
What timeline would you want?
Um, I guess one where I was really, really rich because I always have dreams of timelines where future timelines when I'm in prison. I just had one last night actually, and it does disturb me. I asked Spirit what that was. They said a timeline. Um, so yeah, I guess one where I'm safe and have money.
Okay. Yeah. Would you ever be brave enough to go through the full shamanic experience? I mean, literally, clinically, you are brain dead. Yeah. Okay. But physically, you are still breathing.
Yeah.
Would you dare do that, Chris?
Well, I don't know. I know people that have. Sarah Adams, she's taken that ayahuasca journey. I mean, I don't want to. I can astrally travel and shamanically journey without taking a drug. So, I mean, I wouldn't. I don't need to. I know she doesn't need to, but she wanted to take it. I know other people have taken it. I don't like foreign substances, so I just think I just don't like them. No, any of them. I don't even like aspirin actually.
Well, I'd say the answer to that is that astral travel is one thing. Yeah. Okay. However, the 5-MeO, which is generally what Khali uses, is probably a key. Okay. Yeah. And without that
Correct.
key, you don't get access to the other realms. And I can promise you that because I mean, Callie will confirm this. When she moved back to Canada, I actually went to see her in her house, and
Yeah.
she felt me. So that's not a big deal. But what is a big deal is accepting this key and understanding that it's in reality a key that can only open the door that even with astral travel you cannot do. Yes, you can go to the Akashic records in astral travel. I've done it many times.
Of course. Of
However,
course.
however, this is different. This takes you to somewhere that I cannot describe. Okay, and like literally, like I said, I've been an occultist all my life. I've worked
Yeah,
for
but do magicians? I mean, does E.A. Coetting, does he take ayahuasca? I don't think he does. I
okay.
don't think J.S. Garrett
No.
takes it either.
JS did. Yeah. JS said it was the
Oh,
most
right.
amazing feeling he'd ever had in
Well,
his
what
life.
about Coetting? I don't think he's taken it.
I, I don't know.
No, he
I,
hasn't. He told me.
yeah. Whereas I know that JS has, and JS told me, yeah, it was the most amazing trip he's ever had. and
Mm.
he
Well,
and
I mean, I don't know. I don't rate it this personally. I know Sarah does both. She doesn't really rate it either, and I know other people. I mean, it swings and roundabouts. I don't think you can say, oh, you need to take it. I don't think we all need to take drugs. I mean, as human beings to experience the higher realms. I really don't. I mean, why would we?
well,
See, Chris,
essentially,
there's a
it's not.
difference.
It's
Sorry.
about keys. Sorry, it's about keys. It's about opening
Yeah,
up
yeah.
planes of consciousness that you cannot open under normal circumstances.
But that's
Uh,
like saying, let's all pop LSD. Wasn't this what the Beatles talked about? You have to take mescaline, you have to take LSD. I
You don't
mean,
have to
I
do
don't agree
anything.
with it.
no,
What?
well,
It's
no,
just
but I think the simple. We've only got like a minute left, but the simple answer is this. Okay, if you want to be the best athlete, like it or lump it, you have to take steroids. It's that simple. There isn't an athlete on the planet who does not take steroids. Okay. End of
yeah.
story. And if you want to really get into realms that are impossible to get into under normal circumstances, then the 5-MeO is, in my opinion, the only way that you can do that. But we can speak about this in depth at a greater time. But when people say you need something, that's quite false.
Yeah.
But like I said, we're almost closing now, but thanks ever so much, Chris, and thanks, Khali. Yeah.
Of course, anytime, Brian.
Okay. Cool. And yeah, we'll continue this debate.
Sounds
Okay.
like a plan.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a
Brilliant.
key to a portal. It's not a drug. It's